Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be continuing on with the Typescript line 75 and we're going to be doing best time to buy and sell stock. So this is a pretty straightforward problem. Essentially you're given an array of stock prices and you want to write what's the maximal profit you can achieve by only having one transaction. So you're only allowed to have one transaction, which means buy a stock one day, sell it for another day. So for example, if you buy a stock here for 7 and you sell it for whatever, 6, you would have a -1 profit. So clearly what you want to do, and I guess we can look at this example. So here, the maximum profit they say is you can make is 5, so you would buy at 1 and you would sell at 6, so you'd make 5 profit. Okay. And you have to buy before you sell, and here the max profit is 0. So pretty much this problem is going to be broken down into 2 different steps. So let's say we have 7, 1, 5, 3, 6, 4. So we're going to have 2 things we're going to want to keep track of. We're going to keep track of the best profit, like our result, let's call that. And we're going to keep track of the buy price. So our result is initially going to be 0. And then our buy price, we're basically going to go through this array. And we're just going to say, like, what did we buy our stock at? And if we can get it for cheaper, then we're just going to switch our value to that, right? Because the maximum profit is always going to be buying as low as you can and selling as high as you can. So for example, if a stock is sold at 7 one day and then 1 the next day, and we haven't yet sold it yet, we're going to want to always pick the smaller number, right? There's literally no reason to not have the smaller number. So what it's going to look like is we're going to go through this area and we're going to say, okay, the stock is sold at 7. We're going to initialize our buy price to something like infinity just so we can have, we want to, we want to initialize our buy price to make the buy price really bad, or you can initialize it to the first value, right? So because the profit is sell minus buy, right? That means if we initialize our buy price to infinity, that would work, because then any price is better than infinity, and also our result will be really bad. So let's do that. So we're going to initialize our buy price to infinity, and then we're basically going to say for every stock, okay, if we sell it now, what's our profit, and is it better than our old profit? And if it is, let's replace it. And is it cheaper now than some earlier time? And if it is, let's get it there. So for the 7, we're going to say, okay, what would be our profit here? Well, we bought it for infinity, and we sell it for 7. So our profit would be -infinity. So we definitely don't want to do that. So we're just going to leave our result as is, because obviously a default result 0 is fine, because you're essentially just saying, like, look, I'm just never going to buy the stock at all. Like, that's my optimal scenario. And that's totally fine. Okay, but what about the buy price? Well, our buy price is infinity. Now it's 7. So obviously we're going to want to change that to 7 because we want to buy as cheap as we can. Okay, for this one now, we're going to say if we sell, our profit is going to be sell minus buy. So it's going to be 1 minus 7, which is negative. So we're not going to want to sell. But is our buy price cheaper than it was before? Yes, it is. So let's update that, right? It's cheaper, so we're just going to want to have it cheaper. Okay, now for the 5. If we sell it now, our profit will be 5 minus 1, which is 4. Is that better than what we have? Yes, it is. And is it cheaper than it was? No, it's not. And we go to the 3, and if we sell, our profit would be 2, and our buy price is still 1, so we want to have the lowest buy price possible. Now for the 6, if we sell, our profit will be 6 minus 1, which will be 5. So that's a better profit. And do we want to change the buy price? No, we don't, because 1 is still smaller. And similarly for the 4, if we sell, our profit will be 3. We have a better profit than that. And do we want to change the buy price? No, we don't. That's pretty much all you need. You just need to maintain a lowest bought price till this point. And then you just simply say, like, okay, well, I know what the lowest bought price for this point was, and if I sell, well, I make a better profit than my, overall. So it's a pretty easy problem, and that's all we need to do, and let's code it up. Okay, so we are going to have 2 things, remember, so we're going to have the result, we're going to let result, we're going to make it 0, and we're going to make the buy price infinity. And we simply loop through every single number. So we can just say for let price. And we can, so technically if you do want to make this a little bit faster, you do want to use like a normal for loop, not a for let loop, but it doesn't really matter, but yeah, so we can just say let I equal 0, I is less than prices dot length I plus plus, pretty straightforward stuff there. And we are essentially checking, is our profit greater than it used to be? So we can just say res equals math.max of the result. And so our sell price here would be price is I, and our buy price is buy. And similarly, after we try to maximize the result, now we say like, okay, do we want to buy for this price or do we want to keep our old one? The same thing we want to minimize, so math.min of buy and price is I. And that should be pretty much it. Now we simply return the result, and let's take a look. Okay. So it does seem to work, and it's reasonably efficient. Like I said, TypeScript all over the place, so hard to say how good it is. And everyone's pretty much going to have the same solution, so it's kind of all over the place. But anyway, let's go over the time and space for this one. So essentially for the time, we are looping through all of our prices. So it's of n, and all of these are O1. This is O1, O1, everything's O1. And for the space, it's going to be O1 because we have a result and a buy, which are just two variables. We don't make any more, we just have two. So that's going to be that. And yeah, it's actually going to be for this problem. Pretty easy one today. So if you liked it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.